守備表示で召喚。そして今こそ俺のデッキマスター能力を発動する。ロード・オブ・ドラゴンのデッキマスター能力は500のライフを払うことで1体のドラゴンを特殊召喚できる。俺はモンスター2体を生贄に捧げ。
2体の生贄だと？
今こそその姿を現せ。ブルーアイズホワイトドラゴン。宇宙を目指せブルーアイズ。
ブルーアイズはレベル8のモンスター。まさかここであのモンスターを引くのか？
ブルーアイズ未知なる壁を突き破れ。サテライトキャノンは攻撃の瞬間だけ数値が発生するモンスター。したがって本来の攻撃力はゼロ。
しまった。
俺がゲームにかける夢は殺人兵器などに負けはしない。消え去れゴーザブローの亡霊。滅びろバーストストリーム。
Dark Magic Attack! Go, Dark Magician! Attack the Black Skull Dragon! I activate Dark Magician's special ability now!
You what?
Conceal yourself with magical hats! I'll use those 2 magic crests to activate another special ability! My Dark Magician's Mystic Box! Attack, Heavy Metal King! Your Heavy Metal King has been shattered. The Dark Magician has chosen me. He has never let me down.
Before we get into the video, I want you guys to give a moment of silence for Mr. Takahashi real quick. Let's go ahead and do that for Kazuki. Alright, let's get into today's video. Today's video is a tribute, as you guys will see in the quick clips before the video actually starts with me talking. This is a tribute to Kazuki Takahashi, the creator of the card game we know as Yugioh, and the TV series and also the manga that entails all of that. Now, he did create the manga first, and then the card game just came with it afterwards. So, yeah, that's who passed away today, and I want to give a special tribute to him. He really, I'm not going to pause too much, but he evolutionized our childhoods in America, especially if you're a guy that, went in the streets or, you weren't the, the most in kid, you know what I mean? It's an escape from that. You get to hang out with fellow nerds, man, you know what I mean? And it was a very, very surreal experience playing this game as a kid, and it even dripped into my adulthood a little bit eventually. I stopped playing for a while, but it did drip in my adulthood eventually. So even in my adult years, the game has brought me enjoyment and things of that nature. And I'm very, very appreciative. Basically, it's a quick history lesson. So the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a game called Duel Monsters. You play with monsters, spells, and traps. And it's been 7 iterations of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Series. You have Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters. You have Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, 5Ds, Zexal, Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5, which the four different dimensions, and then finally you had Yu-Gi-Oh! Reigns, which is the Link era, and now you have Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens, which is I never watched that show, so don't quote me on that. But I have watched Reigns, I have watched Arc 5, I have watched Zexal. Did not like Zexal at all, honestly speaking. So I only watched a couple episodes. If you want me to be 1,000% honest with you, I love 5Ds. I like GX a ton, and no one can replace the original series. So, The protagonists are as follows. In the original Duel Monsters, Yugioh, the kid that solved the Millennium Puzzle, and had the ancient spirit of a pharaoh living with him in his mind for over 4 years of his life. And then finally, they achieved everything they wanted to achieve as a duo, and they had a one last duel together to see if Yugi was able to separate away from Atem, which was the pharaoh. Yugi actually won the duel and actually was able to test himself and be on his own. There's a movie post Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters, which shows Yugi as an adult and him being on his own without the pharaoh. So that'll be Yu-Gi-Oh! Dark Side of Dimensions. The next series that follows that is Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, which is the protagonist of that show is Jaden Yuki. He goes to a school called Duel Academy and learns the art of duel monsters, learns the art of dueling. And it was very interesting to me because they turned to a school and it's a whole bunch of different, it's a high school vibe in a college environment, if that makes sense. And it was a bunch of different factors that go into it, but it's 3 different classifications of students. You had Slifer Red, which is the lowest, and you had Raw Yellow, and then Obelisk Blue. He was a Slifer Red to start his Duel Academy life and never got out the Slifer Red. He never got his bad grades, but the dueling was never bad. It was just his grades. So that's why he never got the Slifer Red class. But he graduates and he goes into this dream, eventually the last episode, and he faces his idol, which is Yugimoto, which is the previous protagonist in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monster series. They go at it. We don't know the eventual result of the duel. No one's life points goes down to 0. And then we shift over 10 years later into Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, which is that protagonist, which is Yusei Fudo. They're in a new Domino City, which is a much more industrialized version of the original Duel Monster series that partake 15, 20 years ago at that point. And it's card games on motorcycles. You just watch Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, you'll see what I'm talking about. They're dueling on motorcycles, okay? Okay. And there's 5 different signs that creates the Crimson Dragon, a bunch of other stuff that you guys can go watch on the actual series. But these 5 duels come together, or 6 if you include one of the twins on the show, which you'll catch eventually if you watch Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. But I definitely enjoyed that one more than most series because Yusei was a full-blown adult during this series, and he had to make adult-like decisions and things of that nature as well. So it gave you life-changing decisions as an adult, as well as card games on motorcycles. And he had Zexal, and then there are different summoning mechanics that go through each show. GX is more of a fusion era of the game. 5Ds is the synchro era, and then you're going into the Exceeds era, which is Zexal. I don't know anything about Zexal, so let's get down the way. I don't anything about Zexal, but the main character, the protagonist's name is Yuma, and he sucked for a long time. He could not win a duel to save his life. That's all I know. So don't quote me on that. The next series that preceded Zexal was Arc 5. The character's name is Yuya Sasaki. They're in different dimensions of the world. So you had a fusion dimension, synchro dimension, Xyz dimension, and standard. Standard dimension, they were using pendulum monsters, which are monsters and spells at the same time. They're very complicated. I'm not going to explain that. I'm sorry, I don't have the mental capacity right now to golf work. So sorry. But that's that dimension. And then you had the synchro dimension, like I said, in 5Ds was the synchro era of Yu-Gi-Oh!, which was synchro summoning. You had fusion summoning in the fusion dimension, of course. And the XC dimension was using XC monsters as their summoning mechanic of choice. And all these guys had it's this big entity called Zark that was separated into different entities, which was all these kids had the same eyes, same shaped eyes, and same kind of shaped face, with just different skin tones and different hairstyles. So yeah, Yuya, Yugo, Yuto, and Yuri. Okay, those were the four antagonists or protagonists, how you want to look at them at the time of the show. And eventually they all come out together as Zark at one point, and then they all separate again at the end of the show. More details, you got to watch Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5 to really understand all of the nuances of the show, but that's that. And then you had Yu-Gi-Oh! Reigns, which is more of like you go into an online game and you're like playing like in a cyber universe type of thing, and the main protagonist is Yusaku Fujiki. There we go. Yusaku Fujiki, who is the main protagonist in Yu-Gi-Oh! Reigns. Their main summoning mechanic on that show is link summoning. If you want to go watch, please go watch to get more explanations about link summoning and how that works. But yeah, eventually, I gotta explain this. Their enemies were the Knights of Hanoi, which were the people that are trying to destroy the Link Range universe. That was led by Revolver and his group of Knights of Hanoi. Eventually, they actually called truce at one point to face the main enemy, which is one of the Ignises. The Ignises are like cybers-like characters that chose a certain duelist to be in their duel disc, which is very interesting. You can watch the show in much more detail to understand that. And I've not watched Yu-Gi-Oh! 7, so I can't give you an answer about that specific series. But enough of the history lesson. Let's get back to Kazuki Takahashi. So I thank you for all these series that you put out there, all the work you put in over 2 decades. I've been watching and playing Yu-Gi-Oh! On and off since 2002. So it's literally the first inception of the series, original Yu-Gi-Oh! I enjoy the shows. I enjoy the game when I do play. When I play or played. I just enjoyed everything about it, especially in my childhood. That's how I met my best friend. My best friend Alvin. We played Yu-Gi-Oh! Together as kids, and now we've been friends for over 2 decades. And I have to thank God first, but on a human level, I thank Kazuki Takahashi. If we weren't playing Yu-Gi-Oh!, if we weren't doing that, we might never met. So I thank Kazuki for that. I thank Kazuki for giving me a competitive edge. Outside of sports, I wasn't really competitive. So this gave me another reason to be competitive about something and to not take pride, but at least be confident in something else I'm able to do that's not sports related. So I thank Kazuki for those things. I'm very, very thankful for a wonderful childhood. I enjoyed the Yu-Gi-Oh! Series, the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Series with Yu-Gi-Moto and Joey and Tristan and Taya and all that good jazz. I enjoyed GX with Jaden and Cyrus and his friends and the actual deep dive of the series. Guys like Chaz Princeton and things of that nature on GX. And I enjoyed 5Ds a ton as well. After that, I didn't really enjoy this series as much until about Arc 5. I didn't enjoy Arc 5 much I thought I did. More like Reigns. But definitely the first 3 series are definitely series that I will never forget that I even occasionally rewatch. So I'm very thankful for Kazuki for creating this game for us to play. I enjoyed a ton when I actually do play. And I'm just thankful, man. I was sad this morning, honestly, because Yu-Gi-Oh! Was a big part of my childhood. A huge part, actually. Outside of spend time with family, that's all I did was play a ton of Yu-Gi-Oh! Honestly speaking. I went to regional tournaments. I've never been to a nationals, unfortunately, but I played a lot of competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! As a kid. Like a ton of competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! As a kid. And I enjoyed every single second of it. And I enjoyed the losses, the lessons, learning how not to misplay, learning all the nuances of the game, using chain links, everything. Just everything about the game. When to use draw cards, when to push for game, like just all that. Just all of that comes with learning how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And learn how to get your opponent's life points down to 0. I enjoyed every single second of it. And Kazuki Takahashi, I thank you. I thank you. I'm very grateful and very happy to play this game. And you will surely be missed by a lot of people. And you inspired a lot of people to enjoy this game and to make lives out of it. We have Yu-Gi-Tubers, man. Like, we have guys that talk Yu-Gi-Oh! And get paid to do so. You got guys who are judges who get paid for a living to judge Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournaments. Like, you made a lot of people livelihoods. You had made a lot of people's childhoods fun. And you have made a lot of people happy to be a part of this community. We're grateful. We're blessed to have had you for as long as we had you with this game. And we will continue to play this game as a community. I won't say not individually, but as a community, we will continue to enjoy this game, continue to play this game, and try to play at a high level. This is a very competitive game, of course, and I'm thankful that I was able to be a part of this community. So, RIP to Kazuki Takahashi. I thank you for everything. This is probably some more anime stuff to come on the channel. I just really wanted to give this man his tribute and his just desserts. He definitely deserves it in a ton of ways. And I'm just thankful to have met so many people playing the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And people that I'm closer to this day. Like, me and Alvin have been friends for over 20 years. So that just tells you how much this game means to me. So, RP Kazuki. Like, comment, subscribe, join the Lot Gang. I know it's a little different from my usual reactions and things of that nature, but this is a life of tone, man, and I want to show you every aspect of my life. I don't want to cover nothing up for you guys. I love athletics. I'm a sports geek. I love sports. I'm a fashion geek. I love fashion. And I'm an anime geek. I love anime. Like, darn it. I'm a very, very eccentric guy. So enjoy this content, man. You guys be easy. RP Kazuki Takahashi once again. And you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace.